Now, we'd like to share with our viewers a taste of the type of programming Musical Bridges has crafted for children during the pandemic. With teachers starving for engaging content while many children homeschool, we've had an opportunity to take students around the globe virtually, from Russia to Spain and now Japan. Shinobi flutist and taiko drummer Kaoru Watanabe and Koto and Shamisen player Yoko Reikano Kimura take kids on an adventure through the rich history of Japanese music and culture. The program is part of this month's Kids to Concerts engagement that will be sent online to over 200 participating schools.
Ohayo gozaimasu. Ohayo gozaimasu. That means good morning in Japanese. Why am I speaking Japanese? Because we are going to talk about Japanese culture and especially Japanese music today. My name is Kaoru Watanabe. I live in New York City and I play Japanese drums, percussion, and flutes, and I'm a composer as well. What are some of the images that come to mind when you think of Japan? We have Mount Fuji, sakura, cherry blossoms, sushi, ramen, a lot of different types of food comes from Japan, sumo wrestling, samurai, warriors, painting of different types, tea ceremony, flower arrangement, and of course, there are many different types of traditional Japanese performing arts, which I would like to spend some time sharing with you. In Japan, we call a drum taiko. Let's try saying that, taiko. Depending on where you are and what type of music you play, you might call the drums different things. This one has many, many different names. We call it miya daiko, nagado daiko, byouchi daiko, chu daiko. There's a lot of different words that we use for it. This body was originally from a tree that had been cut down and then hollowed out. Then animal hide, in this case cow hide, has been stretched very tightly on top of the body and then tacked on. These black dots are like nails, right? They're tacks. The body of the taiko we call do. The skin of the taiko we call kawa. And the tacks we call byo. Okay? Wood, skin, animal skin, metal. I'll play a little bit just so you have an idea of what this drum sounds like. Next, we have the okedo daiko. Okedo, oke means barrel, like a barrel, like now we're talking about staves of wood that have been attached together to form the body. So the body's made of like a barrel type construction. So we call it okedo. Oke meaning barrel, do meaning, again, body, okedo. This one is also cowhide, although sometimes this type of drum you'll have horse hide as well, or sometimes even deer hide, but usually horse or cow. However, big difference between this drum and the other drum is the skins aren't tacked on to the body, but you can see they're attached by rope. So the two sides are attached by a length of rope that have been woven through and strung around and tightened that way. Okedo daiko. It's a much lighter sound than the chu daiko. And finally, we have the shime daiko. Shimeru means to tighten, right? So just like the okedo, this drum, the rope has been tightened very tightly, so we call it shime daiko. Tightly tightened. Because it's tightened, it's going to be a much brighter sound. I have one more type of drum to show you. This one is called uchiwa daiko. Uchiwa means a fan, like when it's hot outside in the summer and you want to fan yourself, that's called uchiwa. So this one is called uchiwa daiko. And I can't just talk about the taiko without talking about the sticks that we hit them with. These sticks are called bachi, right? So this is a pretty big bachi. It's not quite as big as a baseball bat, but it's pretty thick and it's pretty long, right? And then you have much smaller bachi. And then you even have very long, very thin bachi as well. This one is called chobachi. Cho meaning long, chobachi. Besides taiko drums, we have percussion instruments called narimono. And there are all types of narimono. There are bells and gongs and shakers and different sound effect instruments. But I'm just going to show you one today. One of my favorites. It's called atarigane. Atarigane. The atarigane has basically two sounds. One is when you hit the center, and the other is when you hit the sides. And I'm hitting it not with a regular bachi like you saw me using earlier, but this one is a thin piece of bamboo with a tip of deer antler. And this is called not a bachi, but shumoku. So I'm using the shumoku to play the atarigane. A really cool thing about studying Japanese music is a thing called kuchi shoga. It's a way to sing the part of the instruments to actually learn the melodies, to learn what to play. For example, if my taiko teacher wanted to teach me a song, they would sing the rhythms to me, and I would sing the rhythm back to them in order to really understand what the sound is supposed to feel like, the groove is supposed to feel like. When the teacher wants me to play one note, he or she might say, don, which I think you can imagine what it sounds like, right? Don, don. Try sing that. Don, don. You might have a soft hit. Tsu, ku, tsu, ku. If it gets fast, it might be hard to say don, 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 don. So instead of saying don, 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 we'll say doro, 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 don. Doro, 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 don. Try that. Doro, 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 don. Doro, 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 don. When we hit the edge of the drum, which we would say ka. Let's try that. Ka. Or kara, 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 kara. Make sense? We also have one more very important sound, which is su, S-U. Let's try that. Su. That's my favorite sound. It's the sound of silence, right? And it doesn't really make a lot of sense to just say su and move your arm like that. It doesn't make sense without context. So, saying it within a phrase, try repeating after me. Don, don, su, do, don. Don, su, do, don. Make sense? So, I thought it'd be fun to show you a piece using both kuchishoga and then actually playing it to see how those two fit in together. This piece is called Yataibayashi, and its origins is a city called Chichibu in the Saitama prefecture. And every year in December, they have a festival called Chichibu Yomatsuri. Next, I'd like to introduce you to a very good friend of mine named Yoko Kimura.
Hello everybody, so my name is Yoko Reikano Kimura. I'm Koto and Shamisen performer. So today I'd like to introduce Shamisen. So can you say Shamisen? Good. So shamisen is one of the most beloved traditional instruments in Japan. So shamisen literally means 3 strings in Japanese. Actually, there are so many similar types of 3-string instruments around the world, like Persian setar and Chinese sanshan. In the middle of 16th century, the shamisen came to Osaka port from Okinawa Island. During over 400-year history, tremendous kinds of shamisen music were created and still has remained to today. The performer used different koma, bridges, and bachi, so plectrum. So these items drastically change the sound quality. Also, I'd like to explain about very important sounds of shamisen. So this is sawari. So can you hear buzzing sounds? So sawari contains a lot of overtones and it makes sound quality richer. Now I'd like to play excerpts from traditional pieces using different bridge and plectrums. The first piece is Tsukuda. So this piece evokes Sumida River, which is most well-known river in Edo, Tokyo. The second piece is Sarashi, which also evokes the peaceful scenery of Uji River in Kyoto. So please enjoy the different sound qualities and imagine that you are by these famous rivers in Japan.
On one side, we have classical Japanese music. When I say classical, I'm thinking mainly about theater traditions such as Noh theater. I'm going to show you some video here. Noh theater is about 600-700 years old. You could see the actors are wearing masks and they're moving very slowly and kind of dramatically across the stage. The themes of Noh theater, kind of very otherworldly stories. Also, we have Kabuki theater, which is a little younger than Noh, still about 400 years old. Similar themes in terms of what they're singing and dancing about, but you notice that they don't have masks on. Much bigger stage, more musicians, more actors, more extravagant, and you can see the very interesting face paint that they use. Also, here's some video of bunraku. Bunraku is traditional puppet theater. You could see 2 or 3 people are controlling one puppet. One guy controls the head and the right hand, another guy controls just the left hand, and then you may have people controlling the feet. And we also have a type of classical music called gagaku, as well as a dance associated with it called bugaku. And so with gagaku and bugaku, these are the music that the emperor and his family, his court would enjoy. This is a very elegant, refined music that has, like many things in Japan, origins from China, Korea, and from other cultures coming in from the Silk Road.
So next, I'd like to introduce Koto, K-O-T-O, Koto. Koto was originally brought from China in the 8th century, but in its 1,000-year history, Koto has developed into one of Japan's representative instruments. At first, Koto was played by aristocrats and Buddhist monks. However, gradually became popular among citizen people. Koto is often compared to some imaginary animal. Can you guess what animal it is? It's dragon. So this part is dragon's head, so dragon's back, and dragon's horn. Koto is made of Polonia wood. Polonia is moist resistant, light and strong. Standard Koto has 13 strings. So nowadays, these strings are made of tetron, a kind of nylon. Tetron strings have good tension and lingering resonance. So these white ones. So when we play Koto, we put on bridges we call ji in Japanese. So sometimes we move bridges during the performance. So we call these peaks tsume in Japanese. So there are two main schools in Koto music. One is Yamada School, my specialty, and the other one is Ikuta School. So Ikuta School people use square type peaks. So now I'd like to play a short excerpt from Mirage Dance, Kagero no Odori, composed by my teacher's teacher, Kinichi Nakanoshima. So he was a legendary Koto performer and a living national treasure in Japan. So please enjoy.
And the last instrument I'm going to show you is the Shinobue. Shinobue, bamboo flute. We also call them fue for short. Fue. Fue. There are different types of fue. Again, you saw the videos. Different theater traditions, different festivals, different dances, all use different types of flutes. So there's a huge range of how they're played and what kind of songs are played on them. And I'm just going to show you a quick demonstration of different types of fue. This one, you can see it's very big. So it's going to have a lower sound and a warmer sound. So you might have a song that's kind of sad or maybe sounds plaintive like this. Or I have a much smaller flute here, and I might be playing a flute like this in a festival where it's very lively and you have many people dancing, and like we saw in the videos, and you might have a melody that sounds more like this. So the last flute I'm going to show you is called the no-kan. Remember in No theater and Kabuki theater, which we saw a video of earlier today, and these sort of figures that have passed away or were killed in a battle. And there's a lot of tragedy and a lot of sadness and mourning. So this flute is often used to evoke those sort of themes. Let me know what you think about it. Now I'm going to switch over from classical music to folk traditions. First of all, we have what's called matsuri, which is festival. Matsuri, just like festivals all over around the world, are to celebrate community, to celebrate heritage, to celebrate our ancestors, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, our great-great-great-great-grandparents. People go all the way back to the beginning of how our community started. In Japan, the two main religions are Buddhism and Shintoism. Buddhist and Shinto rituals are part of these matsuri. When you say Japanese festival, it doesn't mean one thing. Each city, each town, each village has their own matsuri. Some may have dancing, some may have drumming, flute playing, shamisen playing. Some have what are called yatai, these large wooden carts. They look almost like houses or temples on wheels being pulled through the streets. Some of them are pulled very slowly and elegantly, and some, like in the Danjiri Matsuri, Danjiri Festival in Osaka, the carts are pulled very fast through the streets. Oftentimes the carts will hit buildings and street signs and street lights and causing a little damage. But this is a tradition that's been going on for hundreds of years. It's a very exciting matsuri. Besides matsuri, we have other types of folk dances and songs that you'll see celebrated and still performed to this day. Again, all over Japan, from the big cities to small rural villages, from northern Japan, from Okinawa, from the most western, southern end of Japan. You see the dancing here with the masks. This type of dance comes from Sado Island. Sado is the island where I lived for 10 years while living there. This dance is called Onidaiko, and then because of the local Sado dialect, we call it ondeko. Ondeko.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell you how today's event, today's summit came about. All of you who come to our concert know that International Music Festival is the largest event we produce once a year. We look forward to it entire year and spend countless hours conceptualizing and putting it together. And this year was planned to be very luscious, consisting out of 10 concerts. And to be honest with you, till like a month before today, we were hoping that we will be able to present live festival in one form or another. We were looking for a partner to present it outside. When we found out that it's really not possible, it's not time yet for people to gather, we called emergency staff meeting. As all of you know, I am absolutely blessed to work with very creative and brilliant staff. And so we had the staff meeting here at our office, and by the end of that meeting, today's summit was born. So I think I watched the entire production today, and I'm absolutely speechless on how informative and sincere and how it's turned into really celebration of the creative spirit of the arts. I'm really excited. We adapted, we had no choice but to adapt to this new circumstances, and we've learned a lot. And I hope we will keep some of it for the next season or for the time where hopefully we'll get back to live performances. I sincerely want to thank our brilliant panelists from today's summit and our incredible guest artists and everybody who took part in it. And thank you very much. And our sponsors, of course, and of course you, our audiences. After all, everything we do is for you. As far as vision for the future, there was a lot of thought. Yeah, I've been listening to today's discussions, and I share a lot of sentiments. And I am looking forward for us getting live to the live performances. But I think we're going to capitalize on what we've learned this year. We've learned to be filmmakers. We've learned to work with live streaming companies, and I would hate for that to go away. So during the summer, we're going to figure out how we're going to marry the two worlds together. Well, before I will close the festival, I have very exciting news with you. We had winners today of the raffle, right? And that's right. Suhail, thank you. Okay, so the lucky winners are Estela Bustamante, Gerard Viagran, Jasmine Dean, Bill Scher, and Lita Murphy. Congratulations to all of you. You're going to become lucky owners of this fabulous Fiesta models. You can wear it here, or you can wear it here, anywhere you like, or this fabulous musical Bridges cup. So our team will contact you and you will receive it. I want to thank everybody watching us today. I want to thank San Antonio community for staying with us through this difficult time. And I can't wait to see you at the concerts.